Hello, I've changed the setting and I'll be back in a second. I'm just running late today because I am me, and that's what happens if you're me. But it's gonna be great today, I promise, and just trust me on this, okay? So I'm changing a bit my camera so that you can actually see my face, which I thought was kind of nice. But I still have to do this thing, so hopefully you get the opportunity to chat and I get the opportunity to chat with you, which is what I've been wanting all of this time. And yeah, here I am. I'm here, and now you're going to also see my iPad if everything works as it should. I'm moving my other camera. Today is the first day with a new setup, so be kind with me, okay? I have like my notes and everything. I finished, yes. You know, starting this thing is becoming like ending the day. Actually, we'll go on working probably afterwards, but it is a break. So I'm sorry for this intro. It was really messy, but I decided to name for the art club. And it's going to be called the Art Break Club because, you know, hard break, art break. And this is a break, we talk about art. So I thought that was great. I haven't done the logo yet, which I hoped I would have done in the weekend, but the ones that I did weren't good enough. So I'm trying to find a way to do a better one. But we're going to go one anyways, because, you know, a logo is not that important. And I'm probably going to also change like the handle of this YouTube channel, because it doesn't make sense that it's like about my jewelry, because it's not going to be about my jewelry anymore, or at least mostly not about it. I'm still going to post, you know, my hand making videos just because I kind of love them. But I really want to establish this community because I really think, because I need it basically. So yeah, if you're new, hi, I'm sorry it took me like 5 minutes to introduce myself, but hi, my name is Joy and I'm an art jeweler. And I'm starting this art club to talk about everything art and to take a break together and just focus on things that we love about art. And it's going to have, it's going to have a definitive structure. So, and I'm going to post it tomorrow morning probably on, I'm going to start changing everything. But Mondays are going to be for like documentaries and commentary, and we can talk about art and stuff like that. And then Tuesdays I'm going to work, so we can talk about like crafting and materials and all of that. Wednesdays are going to be about art jewelry because I love it, and it's, you know, it's my field, so it's where I can actually be an expert and talk about things that maybe you haven't heard of, and also because I think that jewelry is a very underrated art form, so I would really love to talk about that. Then Thursdays you're going to watch me be embarrassed and learn how to draw, since I've never taken a lesson or like read a book about it or nothing like that. So I'm gonna learn live because, like, why not? And then Fridays are going to be a roundup of all the art news in the world. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into it today. And we said that we were going to talk about Francis Bacon's A Brush with Violence documentary. It is amazing. I had already watched it, and I watched it again just to like get these bits from my iPad that I can directly like share with you. And I think there are so many things in that documentary that we can talk about. I don't really want to talk about like what happened in the documentary, like what were his lovers, his personal life, but I really would like to talk about concepts. But if you have other things that you want to talk about, just pop them in the chat. Hopefully I will see it because it's still on my iPad, so I will have to do those things at the same time, but I'll really try to do it. So if you see my iPad becoming blank, that's probably because I've accessed YouTube and it doesn't work if I go on YouTube. So yeah, we'll come back. Don't worry, we'll come back. So, A Brush with Violence. I hope you watched the documentary and you enjoyed it as much as I did. I had mentioned in another video how much I actually love Francis Bacon, even if I would never want to buy one of his paintings, because I think, as you can see from these images here, that is just too violent. I would never want to wake up and see one of these. It's just too much for me. And I think the most, so let's go, I would like to comment like following the documentary. So I'm going to start from the beginning and go towards the end. So this is the beginning of the documentary, and these three paintings that are called Three Studies for Figures at the Base of a Crucifixion is from 1945. And I thought that one of the very interesting things was that the people in the documentary were saying that people at that time, because obviously World War II had just finished, and we're talking obviously about Europe because these were the people who could, especially people in London, these were the people who could actually witness and see the paintings, weren't looking for pain, weren't looking for these kind of like terrible terrible emotions. And this is what they had to say. These are videos, so I hope you can hear them quite well. This was not a video. Yay. But I really love how violent they are, and even though, as I said, I wouldn't want them hanging in my house, I still think that it was a real turning point for art, and it was a real disruption of the system. And another thing that I found really interesting was that he started painting in the 30s, and his first paintings he never shown anyone, and they are non-existent. He was famous for destroying his paintings. You should know this if you've watched the documentary, but I thought it was really interesting that his first paintings just don't exist, and it's like, who is this person? He's never painted, and he's doing these wonderful, amazing, super interesting and intricate paintings. So I thought that was very much like on character, but also very savvy of him to create this kind of character that you can find throughout his life, and it's very much what we would call marketing today. So I think that's very interesting, and obviously the shock value here is huge, and he obviously I don't know, but I guess he wanted that. So you can see it. I don't think you can hear it though. Yes, you can hear it. Can you hear it? I hope you can hear it. I hope you could hear that. I will know just once this is finished, and I'm gonna rewatch the live. If this is not working, I'll next time I'll use another way. I'm sorry if it didn't work, but it was a thing about death, and death was obviously one of the big themes for Francis Bacon. But I think that talking about these very human themes, the things we're all scared of, it's also something that connects us all as humans. And I thought it was very interesting. There it is. It was very interesting, the fact that while he aged, the themes of death had less violent expressions, which I thought was very interesting, and was looking at, obviously I'm not 85 or 90, so I don't know how I will approach death when I get to that age, if I get to that age, hopefully. But I think it's his relationship with death through his paintings is very interesting to witness. And he has been painting throughout his life, so we can actually see that shift, which I think is very, very interesting. So I wanted to show this clip. I hope you can hear it. I really hope so, and it's not I hope you can hear it.
Bacon created best when he was himself most
hopefully you heard that. And this was another one of the themes that I thought were really interesting and really important in this documentary, which is two things. One was this huge thing about emotions. We all know as artists that we do need those emotions to create something that has connection and meaning. And throughout the documentary, they have been saying that the moments, both when Peter Lacy was part of Francis Bacon's life, then when he died, and also when George Dyer died, those were like the highest moments of his artistic expression, which on one side is absolutely fine. It's absolutely, his way of expressing his emotions, which is fair. Isn't nobody needs to judge it. On the other hand side, I do think that, especially throughout the documentary, talking about how he was a masochist and he really kind of enjoyed pain, there is a very subtle point, and this is obviously just my opinion, but there is a point where you can search for these kind of emotions and it becomes just really unhealthy. And to me, like in this documentary, they were talking about this moment where, like, Peter Lacy, who was his lover, pushed him out of the window, and they're friends of Francis Bacon talking, saying that he appreciated that and he loved Peter Lacy even more. So there is this romanticizing of violence, which is, until it's under control and it's a kink and everything, absolutely, that has nothing to do, in my personal opinion, with like true violence that it's perpetrated towards someone. But in the case of Francis Bacon, I think it's very borderline. And also the fact that the worse he felt, the better he painted. I think that it brings also artists down a spiral where you're searching for that feeling of feeling like shit, honestly, just because you're gonna perform better. And I think that can be very unhealthy. It can be just the way you express your feelings. It's up to, I think, an individual to have the opportunity and the knowledge to understand that, but I think it can be problematic. And also the romanticizing through documentary like this of that kind of violence can be, in my personal opinion, problematic. One of the other things I found super interesting around all of this, like, violence and wanting to control everything but still not taking care of anybody, basically, was the fact that throughout his life, Francis Bacon has had 2 curators and a nanny who were all women and who were taking basically care of him and his work. And I thought that was telling. This is just my personal opinion again, but I do think that it's a privilege to be in a position where you can feel like shit and just mingle in your emotions and let your emotions sink so much that then you can express them and let them go in a way. Because if you need to take care of other people, is just a luxury that you can't afford. So if you have children, or if you have like parents that you're actually taking care of, or siblings or other people, it's just a luxury that you don't have. And so knowing once again that there is this amazing, absolutely incredible painter who has been able to do all these things because there were like 3 women behind him taking care of all the rest, I think it's quite telling of the priorities of our society, honestly. But this was like 30s, 50s, 60s, so But still, I just think it is interesting because, you know, there are days where personally as an artist, I would really, really love to just be able to stay here in my workshop and work all day long and not worry about what I need to eat, drink, pay the bills, sell my stuff, you know, just take care of anybody but my art. That would be honestly amazing, and I think it's a big part of the unsung heroes that are behind the artists. So this next part was about, again, a way that he exploits his emotions, and this part is about George Dyer, who was his lover, and who throughout the documentary it stated that he was supposed to be like this macho man who actually was like soft and wanted to cuddle instead of rape him, which, I mean, but you know, and the way that in this documentary they're saying that he was emasculated by Francis Bacon. So another way, in my opinion, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying that he used once again his emotions, and he lingered in those emotions regardless of the effect they had on others. And that can be absolutely a choice. Is just, I think it has to be, it's a very selfish choice which we can all decide to just do, but I think it just needs to be said that it is what it is. It's just selfish. And this is one of the paintings about George, and I'm going to let the clip roll. Hopefully, again, you hear it.
Himself, of his darkest, bitterest thoughts on canvas, and be purified.
Sorry, this was the wrong clip actually. It was, sorry.
I think Bacon created...
No, it was the same. Anyway, I'll find it. But yeah, it was, again, about his emotions and the fact that he puts them on canvas and lets them sink and stay there. And I think that's I actually do agree with that, because I think that's a way of, that's why I love witnessing art and creating art, because I both think that by witnessing somebody else's emotion, I get like cleaned of mine, but I also think that putting my emotions somewhere else that is not my head just cleans me of them. And obviously emotions can be very violent, can be very soft, can be whatever kind of emotion you have, but I do think that that's something that all people that express their emotions through any kind of art have in common, you know, music, writing, whatever it is, visual arts, installations, whatever. I think that's something that it's very universal, and it's just that his emotions were particularly strong, which I believe is because he lingered in them so much, but still he also had, from this documentary, many traumas, so that could be also it. And also obviously I don't know him, so why can't I hear it? Okay, so this is not, the volume is not going for some reason. That's very interesting. Let's see if this, I'll put this from the beginning. This was the clip that I was talking about before, George Dyer.
I mean, he portrays him as a kind of idiot. He has things with what looks almost like a nappy on his head or something, and dressed as a baby. I mean, I don't know, saying that.
So, you know, I think what I was talking about before was the fact that I do think that, you know, in this clip, but also there was another one where he was portraying one of his friends, and he put a needle in her arm, and she didn't appreciate that, which I think there is a lot of disregard of everybody else's feeling, which is justified because he's creating such an amazing work of art. But I think it's... personally, I don't necessarily think that it's fair that in order to create something great, you need to exploit other people's feelings. It's obviously also your feelings, it's both, but that's my I just think that it's very, very, very self-centered. But maybe you need to be very, very self-centered to create this level of art. It can be. I hope not, but it can be. You know, and the way he's talking about, well, not talking about, but portraying his lover is not, it's very distant from the way he was portraying Peter Lacey and, you know, the wrestlers, and very, you know, sexual and all of that. This is just very, very different, and it's not, apparently George I didn't appreciate that at all, and I think that's fair. But there is a very interesting conversation to be had regarding like the muse and the artist, and what's the relationship there. I think that's a very interesting conversation to have, that we can have if you'd like to. So the last two clips, which I don't know again why the volume sometimes is going, sometimes is not, but I'm just going to talk about them. So the last part is about George Di's death, and again, if you're interested in how everything worked, just go and watch the documentary if you haven't. But I think that it was the second big turning point in sales when he had this huge exhibition at the Grand Palais in 1962, and he decided his lover for I don't know how many years had died in the room next to him in the hotel, and they decided not to tell the press for 2 days, and not to tell anyone for 2 days. And again, this is it can be seen as putting art before everything else, which is regarded as something that we should aim for as artists. But again, I'm asking, where is the line? Is pretending your lover and the person who has stayed by you in the last years, pretending that person is alive while he committed probably suicide, is that too much? In my opinion, it can be. But anyway, so I'm gonna check, because I don't want this to be more than 30 minutes, because otherwise it won't be a break, and we want this to be an art break where we can talk about stuff. So I'm just gonna check now. You're gonna see this black, but I'm gonna check if there are some comments. Hopefully I can see them. I don't know. It's not working. I love when it's not working. Is anyone here to want to like chat with me about this stuff? I don't think so. But you can also leave comments. It's the same. I don't mind. It's just that I don't know what time difference is. Like this works very well for me, because it's at a time where I'm kind of finished with work, not completely, but I'm kind of finished, and I can take a break, but I don't know if you can as well. So yeah. Ooh, now I can see myself. That's weird. Okay, so I can't seem to find the comments. I will find them tomorrow. I'm sorry if I didn't, but you know, I'll get better in time. Just give me some time. So I want to finish with the last clip that I have of this documentary, so we can chat about it in the comment section at this point. This is one of the last, he did other paintings before his death, some landscapes, and they were much softer. They didn't have this fierce violence that the first paintings had. And I think, again, that's really interesting to see how violent he was when he was younger in his paintings, and then how they became this, you know, kind of softer. Can you see? Oh yeah, I can focus in. You know, it's not, you can see like this figure had all this huge teeth in the first, I'm going to show it to you actually because I have it here. You can see how violent this was. And then it became, you know, softer. They are smaller, the colors are less violent. I don't want to play the clip. The colors are less violent. It's just, in the clip, it's going to say, I think that it looks like it's under, whoops, I just broke the needle I was playing with. Anyway, and I think it's, anyway, really, sorry for that, really interesting to see how this, how his style, well, not style, but colors and how the surfaces also of his paintings change. I'm going to play this last clip and I hope you can hear it. But it seems like you can't. You could hear it before. There's something just weird about this. I don't think you can hear it. I don't think it's going actually. No, it has changed. Anyway, I'm sorry you can't hear this clip apparently, so I'll try to find out more once I finish this live and actually have some feedback. So I think that's it. I think there are so many points that we can discuss regarding that are completely, you know, human. They're not just linked to one artist, you know, things like also he loved risks and gambling and how that influenced his work, and all this like deep diving into his emotions and starting to paint things that were really, really personal to him. And that was like his first turning point. And then when both his lovers died, you know, those were two turning points for his career, and how those are perceived by him and then by his viewers, and how he could do all of this because he had other people who were actually taking care of him and his money and his finances and all of that. And I think it's just the idea that you create your best when you're at your worst. I hope that's not true, because I don't want to feel like shit all of my life just to be considered a good artist or to be a good artist. So I think that's, you know, those are dangerous topics, I think, to really linger on, but I think they're important to discuss. So I think I'll leave you with those thoughts because I think they are really interesting. I will post the next documentary for Monday. If you have some suggestions, please put them in the comments. Otherwise, I have one that I would like to share, and it's a documentary on Hilma af Klint, and I really love her paintings and what all the movement behind it. So I think that would be a very, very interesting documentary. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't talk about it, but hopefully you'll agree on that and we can watch it together for next Monday. So I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to let you give me some opinions, hopefully. And I'll put down here and in my community post the link for the next documentary. Hopefully I can find a free source for everyone, because I think that would be very important. I'll try. So I hope you have something to say about this documentary, because I think it's very interesting, and I think Francis Bacon's an amazing, incredible, violent and beautiful artist. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you'll enjoy watching another documentary with me. So I'll see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we're gonna do some creating of these earrings that hopefully are gonna be kind of finished tomorrow. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.